Oui, hon, hon, comrade. The sweep, it happened. We are victorious. I don't know how you say victoire. Is that how you say it in French?
I'm pretty sure they say surrender.
They sure as hell didn't surrender at the Game Awards, folks. Everybody else showed their little white bellies and turned over for the ultimate French Chad. I've been saying it's gonna happen. Les sweep. It's here.
All I know is the video reaction of Kojima when he didn't win Best Direction tells me he's not going to show up next year.
In his defense, I too would also be annoyed if you flew all the way from Japan to actually walk away with nothing, thinking that you've got Jeff in your pocket, right? And to get nothing, yeah, that's.
I mean, I don't know if you saw the reaction, but there was a visible scoff, and
I think people were reading too much into that one. I'm
taking it 100% literally. He's not showing up again.
What was actually funny was Woodkid, the composer for the soundtrack. He walked out. He walked out of the show, which is again hilarious. He's also French, so like French superiority and French, the French Chad versus the French Virgin. They contain multitudes, but couldn't take the heat. I honestly think Kojima, because Kojima's praised the game. He has praised Expedition 33, so I think he was fine.
He won't be there next year.
I mean, because granted, yes, he flying from Japan to LA, not an easy thing. However, he gets to meet with all sorts of people. He posted a picture today on the day of recording, doing something with Guillermo del Toro for a Frankenstein thing. He gets to meet more celebrities and sign them up to get their soul stolen by the soul sucking machine. So
yes,
he can still write it off, as taxable. I have collected this many souls for you, my demon prince. So I think it's still a net success for Kojima.
The Kojima project has been advanced.
Yeah. So I think he's fine. And yeah, so the purpose of today's video is not really to talk about the awards, because let's be clear, the awards show didn't care that much about the awards.
Did I'm curious.
They have year over year spent less time talking about the winners.
I think somebody clocked it at 17 minutes this year, and for me that remains the.
It kind of felt like, you remember when we graduated high school and it started raining in the middle of the ceremony, and then they just started.
Did somebody put up the
rattling off names?
Please,
like go,
please
go,
wrap it
go,
up sign. Someone was Jeff there at our high school graduation asking people to wrap it up. The ones that bother me are just when they rattle off the random ones, and it was weird which ones they chose to rattle off. Like, I'm totally fine with them rattling off like the esports and
please rattle
content
those
creator.
off.
Yes, please get those out of the way. They shouldn't be there to begin with. And we critique all the different categories. That's not what this discussion is about. Like, they let the Hades devs give an acceptance speech for best action game. I think that they rattled off best action adventure for a Silksong victory because nobody from Team Cherry was there. So there was nobody to give a speech for that one. But it does always bother me when like the so-called major categories of like the genre specific ones just get lumped in with some of the lesser, let's be clear, lesser categories.
They're not there to let people talk about what they did. They're there to let people pay $1 million for a 3-minute showing.
And I'm fine for most of that. The ones that bother me are like the fact that they charge so much for all that lets them do cool stuff. Like I do like the theatricality of a lot of the announcements that they did, like some cool on stage things that they do. But then it's like they're making enough money off of the actual announcements that are buying spaces, but then the fact that we got 5 different anime gacha slop commercials, true commercials, that they all look the same. All of those also looked the same.
How dare you speak about the consistent player's voice winning games?
Somebody was reading
some this year, Withering Waves?
Yeah, Withering Waves this year. I was like wading through some comments and stuff, and seeing all the people love to root for the underdog of Expedition 33. People loved to root for them until they started winning things. And then now they're no longer the underdog. It's no longer fashionable to support them. But so
they were the Kansas City Chiefs circa 2020.
Yeah.
And so it's like
the Golden State Warriors circa 2015.
So like I'm like
Miami Heat circa 2012.
I'm really enjoying seeing people crash out over these things, and I'm just sitting here with like the haha, like the Leo from Django smirking face, just like drinking a glass of port or something as they're crashing out.
Did you go to the parlor for some white cake?
I'm reading through some of the comments, and like some fucking low IQ moron was just like, it really tells you something that it wins for everything except for player's voice. And I'm like, what the fuck are you talking about? Player's voice has always been the gotcha slop award. That literally means nothing. What is like, bro is on to nothing. What are you talking about? Like, do you think that Genshin Impact should be winning best RPG every year? Do you actually think that?
Hey man, the fact that Genshin didn't win Player's Voice this year, who knew the downfall of Genshin Impact would be this sudden?
Probably the Wuthering Waves devs gave better in-game rewards for casting 10 million votes on their behalf. That's who's going to win that award. But yeah, any other Reddit brain opinions that you've seen from
I saw something
show
regarding how it was basically comparing both Persona 5 and Metaphor, and saying how it's interesting how a JRPG can only win Game of the Year when it's made by a European studio.
When it's not by a Japanese studio. That is funny. There was some back and forth, and there was a little bit. I do kind of get a little bit of the agreement where it's like, I do think Persona 5, well, maybe it's not in that same exact tier, is close enough where, like, to put it down. Do you remember off the top of your head what year it would have been eligible, what did win that year?
Persona 5 originally released in, I believe, 2015, 2016.
So that would have been like the first couple years of the gamer. So it was released for PlayStation 3 and PlayStation 4 in Japan in September 2016 and worldwide in April 2017. So probably...
So it would have been in the 2017 Game Awards.
Probably in the 2017.
Which was, I believe, Bloodborne.
So we are in the... No, that's Breath of the Wild. That's Breath of the Wild.
Yeah.
There's no way that's not winning. So deserved there. Definitely didn't get snubbed in that regard. The one opinion that's gotten me...
But if it was in 2016, the Game of the Year was Overwatch.
That was Overwatch, wasn't it? Yeah.
Best game of all time. And so then they ruined it.
So the one that's getting me that like is the epitome of Reddit brain, in that like think you're being deep and thoughtful but really are just a moron, is that they should institute an anti-sweep policy, that you shouldn't be allowed to get more than certain number of awards. And what a shame. I
was speaking to a coworker about this yesterday, and we basically came to the conclusion that that's essentially DE.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah. It's like, we live in a meritocracy, baby. That's what it is.
Yeah.
And like,
I'd also feel really shitty if I knew I got
it's
an
incredibly patronizing. It's incredibly patronizing to the other ones. It's like, oh, you weren't actually the real deserving one. You won on a technicality.
Participation award bullshit.
Exactly. And it's just like, that's just ultimately just patronizing bullshit. The award should go to the best game. And
I mean, the bigger discussion there could be like, if you want to go down that route, then they shouldn't be allowed to win. They shouldn't be allowed to be nominated for that many things. If that's where you want to push that,
there would be a level of opacity there that you wouldn't necessarily know that it's being. Well, think about it almost like how Golden Joystick does it. A lot of the times, like Ultimate Game of the Year nominees don't overlap for like Console Game of the Year and PC Game of the Year. That there are kind of a little bit more bifurcated in that way. There might be something similar going on there. But that in the last one of just like the people who are just turning on and say that Clair Obscur is not an RPG are just, it borders on a little bit of, you can't be racist against the French, let's be clear. But like it being the erasure of JRPG, the tradition of games that this is in the line of, like the creator of this game in his acceptance speech, cited Sakaguchi, the creator of Final Fantasy, as the direct inspiration for these games. That all the critics of Expedition 33 who say, oh, it wasn't truly innovative, it was derivative of all these JRPGs that came before it, yet then we'll go and say, oh, this isn't an actual RPG anyways. It's just like, okay, so is no Final Fantasy game, all these games that you claim it is aping, are those not RPGs either? So People are like, KCD2 should have won Best RPG because it's the true RPG. Like, no. Again, we've discussed this, that the genre specific categories are pretty useless.
Yep.
But it's just there's a clear bias there that one type of RPG is superior to another. So I don't buy that. I don't buy into that. All right. So that's it for the Les Sweep discussion. It was inevitable. It was always going to happen.
I have two more things on just the general awards. One,
okay.
Did you happen to check back our somewhat predictive voting to see how it did against the results by any chance?
I didn't hold up the actual.
We didn't have Claire Obscure winning that many things.
Vote card, yeah, just because we had the dice deciding, and I have the.
I kept consistently voting against it because I wanted to be funny.
Yeah, true. All right, you're right.
All right, hold on. I can. And then hold on. Give me 1 second. I can show you the.
Yeah, what's our?
So we can look in real time. So Claire Obscure winning game of the year, obviously not. Game direction, best narrative was, I think, a dice roll.
Yeah.
Art direction was somewhat similar, but we knew it was going there. This one was a dice roll that was incorrect, and I was going to fudge anyways. But best score of music, no. Audio design, it was between Silent Hill F and Battlefield 6. Correct on Jennifer English. Correct on Doom. Games for Impact went to South of Midnight.
Those two are the other two I want to talk about just really quick. Is South of Midnight winning Games for Impact? Am I completely off base here? Or that just being like brown character, give it the award? Like that seems to be kind of what happened.
We've told you that this is the token alphabet character category, right?
It's just
if you're gay or black, you get nominated for this game. It is the most performative category of all.
So performative.
Which sucks because there are a lot of good games in these. They often nominate very good games, but they just get kind of isolated into this one.
And then the other was ongoing, giving it to Baldur's Gate, which we briefly chatted about this at some point recently, where like the changes and what they've done over the last year, I don't really like the idea of for the most part. So I just think that was
we were correct on Uma Musume.
Hell yeah, that was the
VR, no.
Good one.
The best indies, community sport, no. Action, no. Adventure, no.
Yeah,
RPG, no.
We did bad.
We did pretty bad. Best family, Mario Kart World. The Altars got robbed. Rematch got robbed. We're biased for Night Rain. Oh my god. Fucking
that's bullshit.
Last of Us 2. I mean, not that we're praising the Minecraft movie, but like Last of Us Season 2 getting best adaptation.
I literally didn't. I think I watched 3 episodes of it. I have not finished it, and I won't.
We were correct for best esports, but I don't remember about the athlete and
who cares
team. So who cares? We knew it was GTA. That was again our bias.
Okay, all right.
Okay,
so not great.
All right. So, but what we're really here for, and what everybody was really at the show for, were announcements.
Yeah, the marketing portion.
Yeah, and to me, it's just the show still needs to find the better balance between being an actual awards show and like let's not lie. This is what gets people there. This is what gets more viewers than the fucking Super Bowl year on year is the new announcements.
Jesus Christ, is their viewership that high?
It was last year by almost. It was like by 15 or 20 million more. It was like last year was like 150 million for Game Awards and like 115 or something, 120ish or it was somewhere in that range. But it was tens of million more than. At least 10 million more. I saw that recently and it blew my mind. All right, so should we jump in? We've ordered things here based off of what we think are the most important or I guess most interesting to us and the most worth discussion.
37% of 275,000 people rated this year's Game Awards a D or lower.
I mean, all the people who vote in those. Was that on the Jeff poll? Was that on the one from the Game Awards channel?
I was trying to look up the viewership because last year said like 154 million.
That won't get posted.
But then this year they've only posted 4.3 million peak concurrent viewers.
Is that on one channel or because it was also on? They also had it on Prime this year for the first time. Which was interesting.
I got prompted to watch it like the day or two before even I went on Prime to watch something and it was like, watch the Game Awards. And I got confused.
Well, you have to also remember that like total viewership can be people who popped in and out for 5 minutes. And that can count as a viewer, whereas peak concurrent would be number of people actively at the same time.
So the show popped off with probably its biggest like show-stopping announcement that has other implications that we'll get to. And so that was Star Wars Fate of the Old Republic. I know personally, as I'm looking at this, I'm like, oh, cool. You know, this could be promising, you know, understanding that, yeah, this is just a CG teaser trailer that means nothing. And so what didn't Jason Schreier report the other day that
Jason said that 2030 is optimistic, and this might be like a PS7 game. And then the director,
I don't think a PS7. I don't think it would be a PS7. It's definitely a PS6 game, no question about that.
I mean, PS7 would be what, 2034, 35?
I don't think that's gonna happen.
But the director responded, he's like, "I'm not getting any younger. It's going to be up before 2030." Which, sure, I have zero faith in anything that's just a CGI trailer.
I didn't realize they are that pre.
The studio literally just became.
Yeah, it was spun up with funding from Disney like 6 months ago, and the one encouraging bit about this is that this is the original game director. This is the former director for Knights of the Old Republic. He went on to, you know, head the Mass Effect trilogy at BioWare, but is now free from BioWare and all the baggage that is involved with BioWare.
There's going to be a lot more people from BioWare free in the next year.
Man, unfortunately, most likely. And I think, yeah, in general, like the getting caught up in the hype of this at the moment was like, oh yeah, that's a great, you know, tone setter. And I think people were talking about, I think now is a good enough time. This was like the opener, basically.
Should have been the closer.
But it's not enough for a closer. There's not enough for a closer. Yeah. That's why it wasn't. It's like, this is big, let's set the tone. I get that, but it's not enough here. They know it's not tangible enough. Yeah. But then what they showed for the final game, you know, Jeff doing the classic meme of this game is like gonna push the medium forward. It is such an honor to have this at our show. And it's, you know, it's Bluey 2. It's Bluey the video game part 2. And him like doing the serious debating of these are the creators of Apex Legends and Titanfall. People are like, oh my God, they're doing Titanfall 3 or the spiritual successor to Titanfall 3.
Never gonna happen.
No, that's truly never gonna happen. And then to give like just a bland hero shooter. You know, to have that be the final send off was just like, Jeff, do you not know how this works? Do you not know what's hype and what isn't?
He knows how much money they paid him, though.
I was going to say, yeah, he knows how big the check was. He knows how big that check was.
And
so do we have any, so is there anything about, is this like an action RPG game?
An action RPG. It's a single player action RPG. Don't know if it'll be like a Mass Effect style where you have, you know, party member control. Yeah, we know nothing about it. It is the glimmer in the eye type of thing. It is absolutely.
This is the exact same type of trailer that we got for like Star Wars Eclipse or Wonder Woman or
Elder Scrolls 6.
Other CG trailer for games that never came out.
Yeah, Wonder Woman is a pretty good corollary. Star Wars Eclipse is a weird one because One Quantic Dream
Wonder Woman was a legitimate Game Awards announcement, so that's why I threw that one in there.
Eclipse may have been as well at one point. I'm
pretty sure Eclipse was a PlayStation showcase.
I'm pretty sure it was a Jeff. It was at one of the Jeffs. I'm not entirely certain, but I am hopeful that they can do it. They can see it through, but I'll have more confidence once we see proof of life of the original KOTOR remake. Right. I personally think there's greater chance of this going somewhere than the KOTOR remake because the tumultuous back and forth of what's happening with that one.
Disney had shot down because when the KOTOR 2 for Switch came out, it was supposed to have restored content.
The Aspire remake, yeah.
Yeah, it was supposed to have restored content, and then Disney sued and prevented that.
Yes.
Yes.
But like, let's be honest with ourselves, right? That announcement is all about securing
Hiring. It's just like The Witcher 4.
It's investors and hiring. It is
Yeah.
come work for us, come give us money to make this project. Get in on the ground floor. I wish that
Totally.
there was some greater level of transparency when they do something like that, to be like, even if it's just at the Stinger thing now, it's like in pre-production.
Yes.
Now in pre-production. You know,
Yeah.
so that like
Yeah, but if they put that there, then you lose the hype because a lot of people might all of a sudden realize that this isn't going to come out for 4
I don't
5,
think
6
so.
years.
Maybe it cuts against that grain a little bit, but this property in particular, it got people hyped enough to the reinvigoration of like their formative game experience, to know it is somebody's goal
I
to
can
make
only
it.
speak to the people that I know personally, and my coworker came in super excited about the trailer because he thinks it's coming out in the next 2 years.
Oof.
And then I read him Jason's tweet.
Did you break
and
the
he-
news? Did you break the, yeah, how'd that
Well,
go?
I read him Jason's tweet, and then I reminded him how many CG trailers at the Game Awards have never become anything.
I mean, way to kill this man's excitement, but like
That's what I do.
you're
He
doing
didn't come to work the next day.
like you're doing a bit of a service, like let's temper expectations, but then you went a little bit further than maybe was necessary.
That's my job. My job is to kill all hopes and dreams and make people sad.
You should have just left it at the let's read Jason's tweet, you know, that
Let's
this
read
is
Jason.
that this is probably not coming out till at least 2030. You don't have to then go the extra mile of here, let's list the 10 games that get a CG trailer and never happening and how this is going to be one of them.
Meanwhile, I'm like 2030 is like, oh shit, the ocean's probably gonna be boiled by then. So
Manhattan will be underwater.
Manhattan is going to be inundated with a paranormal threat in this next
Hell
game,
yeah.
which I honestly think was probably the game of the show, if I'm going to be honest. And
Totally.
it had like the coolest, that coolest kind of theatrical moments, like where they incorporated this cage and the wire act and something on stage into the presentation here. And so this is the Control sequel, Control Resonant, where
Hell
you're gonna play as Jesse Faden's brother, the Patient Zero for the Hiss invasion. And I don't know if this is indicating that the Hiss have escaped containment of the oldest house. That's what it seemed to be, because there's a bit in this trailer where they show like that brutalist architecture, and it's like there's like blood coming, you know, like that people have been eviscerated on the steps, and that's what I would think. But look at that sign: do not ingest, resist the urge. I don't know
I'm
what
excited.
I don't know. So there's the scene. I think that's the entrance to the Bureau of Control, and you see all these dead bodies coming out of it. Yeah. So Andrew, as like the one who got us into playing the original Control, what are you most looking forward to?
I am pumped. This trailer got me. I saw the announcement that it was out, and the trailer got me even more hyped than I even was at hearing that this is going to be a 2026 game, apparently. So that's sweet. But I am hyped for the combination of setting and aesthetic that I think they do so well in their games. Like just the imagery itself, I find very enjoyable. I love that about Control.
I did like the fractal stuff that they were doing.
Yes, and they do that stuff in Control as well, and that looks sick. The powers are, I still contend that Control is one of the best power fantasy games you can play. There's nothing that I think, maybe with a few exceptions, reaches the level Control does with just how cool you feel pulling shit off.
I really like that they're moving from shooter to melee action.
Melee, yes. Melee is a very sick addition. The fighting looks great.
But still keeping that idea of like the service weapon that Jesse has, where the transforming the singular weapon into all the different uses, and he's got that here with like his pull thing that he can. I mean, big hammer go bonk. Like let's go.
Big hammer go bonk. It almost looks like two lawnmower blades that he's just like holding in his hand as his weapon, which I'm pumped. I think what is it's not Respawn. Who is it? Respawn? Who's the
Remedy?
game dev?
Remedy?
Remedy, yeah, that's it. Remedy.
the Finnish bastards themselves.
They know how to make a visual feast.
Here's the thing. Sam Lake is an incredibly interesting guy, knows how to make a really interesting game, does not know how to fucking sell a game. Can they actually make money off of this game is going to be the big if statement.
Granted, I would say I think they will. Control was a pretty successful hit.
It took
Alan
too
Wake
long.
2, it took too long.
And so
but
Alan Wake 2
2's got
took
enough.
even longer. They just became profitable in the last 6 to 8 months.
But it still it's been growing their name recognition enough that I think this will be a little bit of a different go. I'm hoping. I hope. I think their stuff. They make great games. I'm very excited for this. It looks like a ton of fun. I can't wait to just be blown away by the visuals and the atmosphere that they create. It's very their X-File feel is just so good. Like that's what it's like to me.
As currently someone who is watching through the X-Files, that definitely hits, and I do like that. Matt, is it going to be too spooky for you?
I'll probably never play it. It's not even too spooky. I don't think Control 1 grabbed me enough to make me want to invest in the Alan Wake verse
It was the
one
best.
would call
It was
it.
the best Jedi game ever.
Yeah, for sure.
That's
What are you talking
great.
about?
What a wonderful bar you just set.
But yeah, I'm excited. I think it looks sweet, and I'm all in on their universe. So.
That one I think definitely got me probably the most hyped because yes, it actually showed gameplay, and I like the spin that they're moving it in. I
blame
like
myself a little bit for this, but I already knew this was coming. This was extremely leaked.
Like Resonant, they had trademarked it, right? So
Yeah.
it's not that its appearance was a surprise. It was more just like seeing what it was. There was the tiniest bit of uncertainty whether the trademark for Resonant was the sequel. They're doing some adaptation as well, so people thought maybe it was the name for.
I'd seen speculation that it sounded like a mobile title.
Oh God,
Control Resonant on iOS and Android.
Thank God it's not. I'm shocked. I mean, so here's my last kind of tidbit for this and comment. Do we think this actually will come out in 2026?
No. I was trying not to be the one to bubble burst. I doubt
it's possible because they have probably been working on it for quite some time. Probably had some people on it while Alan Wake 2 was finishing. That the FBC Firebreak thing was like a side project that they've been working on. So I think this has been in production for a while. It's probably going to aim for end 2026.
That's where my problem comes in. And that's
GTA?
because do they really want to target the shitstorm that is releasing in and around GTA 6 with a game that has already been known to take a little while to recoup its costs?
But I think that the Remedy verse
just saying 2026 means it's definitely not quarter 1, quarter 2.
Correct. No. I don't necessarily know that they would factor that in because I don't think that the generic mass audience of GTA fans have that much crossover with the Remedyverse sickos.
I mean, the GTA fandom spans to 100 plus million people.
Yeah, but there are more people. There are far more people in the world than that. And particularly, this is a very European studio that European audiences are more.
I think it's more so that people interested in this game are going to buy this game regardless of if they're going to buy GTA 6. If you're someone who's interested in both, I don't think it's
their
going to
games.
cannibalize.
Their games don't appeal to a casual gamer who is only buying the one game a year.
Right. Exactly.
They are going to based on somebody's ability and means. Yeah, they may not be buying lots of games, but they have a dedicated base. That they've got a pretty secure floor. I think of secure in the sense of that their fans will play it, but they're so niche that they have struggled to be profitable, but that niche is a kind of isolated, segregated sect of weirdos, right?
5 million total copies sold as of mid 2025, on exceeding 19 million players due to availability on Game Pass.
Is this Alan Wake 2 you're talking about?
Control.
Yeah. Well, Control has had a longer lifespan. and was more of their breakout. Alan Wake has always been more on its niche side, even more so. They don't strike me as one to balk from the GTA.
I agree. But I just
Alan
think
Wake
it's
2 million copies worldwide as of early 2025.
I would say I just wouldn't be shocked if it ends up slipping to like early 27. And I don't really care.
It's always safe to assume pretty much everything is going to slip.
But it's coming and it's real, and that has me very hyped.
I think so. Going into the show, obviously, the biggest hype was, what the fuck is the giant statue, Jeff? What is the obelisk? That, of course, then did get kind of leaked at some point. It was solved just before, although
someone found a Divinity trademark.
The comms guy for Larian was being very cheeky then when people are like,
it's not Divinity Original Sin 3.
They're like, it's DOS 3. It's DOS 3. It's like, I can confirm to you that DOS 3 does not exist. And so, and then he did a little, ooh, after the fact. He's like, I told you. So this was like one of the other kind of major theatrical moments that they had like the group of actors in costume come in, and they had come to the stage, and people were getting yanked on wires, and the statue kind of appears, and then the trailer moves in. And so again, this is all CG. None of this is indicative of what this is going to be. And because there are questions that arise of this being a Divinity game and not a DOS game. In that the Divinity games were like action RPGs.
Yeah, they're different.
Like not CRPGs. And there's a possibility that this is turn-based, but this could be, I really fucking hope that it's not real-time with pause. That would be really bad news for me. I could be really on board with them, with their ability, how they scaled up and their abilities to do a higher fidelity, true action RPG, I think could be really cool. But then there is the chance that this is still turn-based, but not like a CRPG style. We don't know. We simply don't know.
Wait, so Divinity,
they're related, but they are not.
There's
Divinity, Divinity 2. There's Divinity Original Sin.
There was Divine
Sin.
Divinity, and then there's the original Divinity Original Sin was like a prequel to the Divinity games. DOS 2 was then a sequel. Like they kind of sandwiched the Divinity games. It's all in the same. I hope we don't get. Did you see that lady was banging a lizard man?
Yep.
What'd you say, Matt? You can what?
You can buy the original Divinities on Steam.
Yeah. Oh yeah. No, they're available. I will say no matter
a date.
No. No matter what type of game this is, I will not be playing it with you guys, if there is multiplayer, because I actually want to see the game through and actually experience it in its entirety and not be stuck playing an hour every 2 weeks with you guys to then abandon it a year and a half later. So again, my opinion is always, let them cook. They're obviously going to put together something great, and I don't think that there's little to no risk that this doesn't happen like some of the other major CG things, that they have the funding, they have the independence, they have the security to make this a reality. They are not beholden to shareholders in some of these complicated funding mechanisms. So I don't think there's a risk of that. It might just take a while.
Yeah.
It might just take a while. Who knows exactly how far.
Baldur's Gate 3 sat in early access for quite a bit.
Well over a year.
I think it was 3 years.
I don't know that it was that long, but it was a decent amount of time. It was definitely a decent chunk of time.
Pretty sure it was like 2020 is when it originally early access.
They are threatening us that this is also going to be their biggest game ever.
That's great.
Baldur's Gate 3 early access October 6th, 2020.
So 3 years? Well, no, because it was 20 its actual release year was 2023.
Yeah, August 23.
Sometime between 2 and 3 years in early access. Yikes.
I remembered because you were talking about building a computer for it.
Right. And then I ended up playing it on this one and ran pretty well. Took that long. Well, that was like, because that was the thing that was like I was thinking of first getting me into PC gaming, and that is that I was so new to it at that point that I didn't even really fully understand the concept of early access. So I was like, oh, they're saying that the game's coming out this year. Isn't that going to be sick? I can't wait. And then it's like, no, this game is not here. It's not actually a full thing yet, and you've got to
Just
wait
kidding.
an undisclosed amount of time to play the whole thing, and I kept getting frustrated. Matt, your first big excitement of the show.
Big isn't necessarily the right term, but it is the first thing that I saw where I was like, oh, neat. He's not forgotten.
When was the last one?
Mega Man 11? Is that 2017?
They've done some like re-releases of like,
Yeah,
like
they've
collections,
released
like
pretty
the
much
Battle
all the old
Network games too. They've done those. To me, I don't,
2018.
Okay.
I gotta admit, when I saw the gameplay of this, it looked very stiff to me.
Yeah, because it's Mega Man.
Like he's supposed to be a cool robot, a cool robot man. Oh, when Jeff started teasing this one, people were thinking it was going to be the Half-Life 3. Because he was like saying like like dormant franchises, they saw like the sci-fi aesthetic, like it's like it's so exciting when we can like again showcase the return of these classic and beloved franchises, and everyone's like, oh, there it's Gordon, he's coming, he's gonna be here, inject me with the hopium shot, Gordon.
There was more rumor leak this past couple days of confirmation that Half-Life 3 will be a Steam Machine launch title.
They were just being cheeky with that one as well.
Yeah, and that part of the reason they haven't discussed it yet is because they're currently battling with the thing that everyone in that industry is currently battling with, which is fucking RAM prices.
They just don't want to. They don't want to make any promises yet.
I just think it's cool to see Mega Man come back. It's nice to see franchises not stay dead forever. Capcom tends to do a good job of keeping their franchises alive.
How would you tend to define the Mega Man, the core games? Because I know that there is some variety. Because like aren't like the Battle Network ones like more turn based?
Yeah. I mean, I would call it an action platformer.
I gotta say, it did nothing for me. That one did nothing for me. It's something like that. It's so well respected and like well thought of that like part of me has always been like, oh, I wish I saw something more in this one. Not just this game, like the franchise as a whole. But yeah, never really done anything for me.
I mean, I've got all the legacy games.
I played one on Game Boy Advanced, I think, or Game Boy SP. That one. It was the SP, the one that
folded. Is a Game Boy Advance.
Yeah, there's just the folding version.
What did the SP stand for?
I have no idea.
Super portable.
Okay.
Certainly more portable than the original Game Boy Advance with its weird rectangular brick shape.
I remember I saved up my own money to buy myself a Game Boy Advance, and I'm pretty sure I lost it within like 6 months. As like a 10-year-old kid, probably saved for like 3 years to have enough money to
Yeah.
to buy
I was
that.
expecting the payoff of that story to be, and then bought it, and then Nintendo DS released like 2 months later.
No, I did eventually have an SP as well, but I bought myself I remember going and buying it at Toys R Us. R.I.P.
Hell yeah.
R.I.P. to the giraffe.
Yeah, the SP was they had that proprietary built-in charger, big and a backlight, fucking massive.
Yep. Hell yeah.
Another returning franchise here. 30th anniversary. Ace Combat. Andrew, you brought this one. You brought this one to the channel. What's
I did.
What's got you interested here? I didn't. Are you gonna be getting a cockpit sim for this one?
So I'm not gonna lie, the air combat flight sims have always piqued my interest.
Are you gonna buy Microsoft Flight Simulator?
No, that's too technical. I don't want that. But the dog fighting.
If I buy it, would you play it on VR with me?
Yes, I absolutely would check it out on VR.
I'm kind of interested now that I think about it because I really liked the Star Wars, like the squadrons and Star Wars Squadron and what was the...
It's also got a VR mode.
Those versions in like the Battlefront games. I always loved those. So yeah, dogfighting multiplayer was I was always much better at it than, regular multiplayer. And I like the kind of... They were simmy enough without being too crunchy to get into the tedium stuff that we discussed in one of our recent videos. But I guess I kind of zoned out when I was watching this.
But yeah,
I'm maybe kind of interested in this too.
They're well regarded.
I know they are.
The story's supposed to be like pretty fun and campy and like anti-military industrial complex. And I've been intrigued. I wanted to try it out. I just didn't want to buy a 6-year-old Ace Combat game at this point. So the fact that a new one's coming out, I'm gonna check it out.
All the comments in this though are basically saying, VR support a must. PSVR 2 support would go crazy. I
mean,
hope
it
this
would.
one has
You're not wrong.
PSVR 2.
I mean, if Microsoft Flight
That
Sim can get
this will
PSVR 2,
single-handedly save the PSVR 2 if they did a bundle.
That might intrigue me. And then, I've heard people talk about this series very favorably, whose opinions in media I generally trust. So
Isn't Gene Park a huge Ace Combat fan?
Gene Park is,
I feel like
Felix is.
I feel like I've seen Gene talk about it a lot.
Yeah, he absolutely has. I think it was something he tweeted about the last game 6 months ago that made me be like, maybe I'll just buy it. And then I was like, I'll be playing this one. I'm excited for it. It looks sick.
Okay, so we had the next one that was both on my list and Andrew's, but Andrew, you said that you had like mixed feelings about, and I'm really interested to see what you have to say, because this one has been on my radar as well, being a kind of classic BioWare fan. And this was, I think, shown at last year's Game Awards first. I think even Matthew McConaughey came out and had a little spiel.
The Summer Games Fest.
The Jeffs blend together to me. You must forgive me. You're probably correct, but like to me, the Jeffs always because this really should just be Winter Game Fest. Let's be real.
They pretty much don't want the awards to actually be part of it anymore, so they might as well just
do it. But yeah, so this is Exodus. We've got some more gameplay showcasing, and this is a new studio, Archetype, that is partnered with Wizards of the Coast, or no, is a division of WotC, but head by James Olin, who was the former lead creative director at BioWare during the classic years. And so this is very much a Mass Effect kind of spiritual successor in a lot of ways. So what were your thoughts, Andrew? You said you had some mixed opinions.
Yeah, I mean, my mixed opinions are kind of, I'm not gonna lie, they're a little bit surface level. I think the game looks cool. The idea seems like it could be fun. The narrative's interesting enough. Sci-fi, kind of somewhat generic, but we'll see where that goes. My pause comes from McConaughey's involvement. I don't really love how his voice, it doesn't fit the character model to me. Like, it should look like him.
He's not the main character. He is not voicing the main character. He's somebody else.
Okay.
I don't know that we actually saw who his character is in this. He's like voicing somebody else.
Well, whoever voices the main character sounded similar enough that I didn't realize they were different. And I thought he was doing like his narration voice in some seeds and then like not his narration voice in others. And it was really confusing.
I don't think so. I don't think that's the case. But my worry was that McConaughey, it almost sounded like, some classic, Hollywood celebrity getting a voice role of, not really understanding or giving enough like kind of respect to the art form, and just this was a phoned in paycheck. It's just some of his line delivery in this trailer for his like narration just fell a little flat to me.
It was like I was watching one of his Lincoln commercials at points.
Those are better. Those have more soul to them,
That's probably true.
So I would agree with you. I'm a little hesitant on his involvement, but
he doesn't voice the main character.
It's unclear if he's like an antagonist or if he is like a mentor, kind of quest giver, the kind of a central NPC in some way, or, in the ambiguous kind of force behind things.
For me, the one thing about this game that just gives me like infinite pause is just Wizards of the Coast. I just don't trust Wizards.
That's generally a healthy attitude to have when it comes to them. However, I don't think that they have, none of their now like first party studios have produced anything yet that they've spun up. These are all still like these were newer projects that are like coming into fruition. It's the fact that yes, like Wizards of the Coast and D&D like licensed games were always an incredibly mixed bag. You could get like
they have another one. Don't they? They have that Warlock game.
The Warlock one, which again I left off the list because again CG trailer. We know nothing about it. It's an action open world RPG. The only like cool thing that I've got is that like Trisha Helfer as a Battlestar Galactica enjoyer, and Lucifer as well. She was in that.
I saw a funny comment about it where people were like, this just gives me pause because it might just end up like that last D&D game. Like, Baldur's Gate 3 was great. What are you talking about? It's like, no, you see, you forgot about that the other legitimately D&D licensed game,
What was it
Dark
called?
Alliance.
Dark Alliance, yeah. But like, I don't think that wasn't like a WotC like first party thing, which they have like invested like actual industry talent into making these new studios. So I am skeptically optimistic for them that they have real talent at these new outfits. But you're definitely not off base to be like, yeah, let's approach them with a little bit of caution.
I just don't trust them.
Yeah, you're right not to. Because they're going to send the Pinkertons after.
They're going to steal my traveling chocobo card.
Yeah. So this one was another shared one for Andrew and myself. That this is definitely not we have Yakuza at home vibes. So this is the new game.
That was it for me. It was like, oh, another Yakuza game
from Nagoshi Studios, the original creator of the Yakuza series, who was like, I don't want to make another Yakuza game, or like, being the head of the studio, I can't make a game anymore, so I'm gonna leave and do my own thing, and then just makes a new Yakuza game featuring. What did we looked up the pronunciation of his name? Ma Dong-suk, the South Korean actor.
Yeah, you got it. You nailed it.
And he's a really cool, great presence on screen, right? I really got the bruiser vibe down. Interesting to have a South Korean actor lead a Japanese set game. I'll be interested to see if his character, there's complex interrelationships between the Japanese and the Koreans. Not good.
What do you mean? Yeah. What could have possibly happened between them?
Lots of bad stuff going on. But the Yakuza games, have dealt with that in some of the later ones. Like there's these like kind of Korean gangs that were like expats from their own country and were kind of forced immigrants to Japan and had to create their own illicit underground communities in order to kind of survive. So it'll be interesting to see if that is an aspect of this. But I trust Nagoshi-san, Yes, like the man cannot leave Kabukicho, right? Cannot leave the city. The one thing is I hate the name. Yeah,
it's legitimately too much like a dragon.
It's too much on the nose, but I also just don't think it rolls off the tongue very well.
It doesn't roll off well.
Maybe
in
Dragon.
Japanese
you
it
want
does.
for Christmas? I want Gang of Dragon.
It does not. I don't love the title. I definitely don't love the title, but I'll play it. There's almost no way I don't play it and don't find it enjoyable. Unless he like tries to get away from the silly aspect too. If he tries to make this like, this is only going to be the super serious, gritty take on it.
I mean, that's what it seemed like in the trailer.
Yeah, but Yakuza trailers look like that.
They do.
Yakuza trailers focus on the melodrama. They it's not until later, and don't let Pirate Yakuza color your experience, right? That was showing the silliness from the get-go. That was the selling point. But Yakuza game trailers have largely always focused on the crime drama aspect of it. So it didn't shake me as that much different. Is he going to sing karaoke? That's the big one for me. Is he going to do it?
I'm here for Ma Dong-suk. He's fantastic. Train
really
to Busan
yeah.
is a fucking awesome movie. And his presence alone has got me much more interested than a Yakuza game would have me feeling.
Whose inclusion has got me beyond hyped for this next one? The man, the myth himself, Sebulba. He's returned.
He's in this?
somehow Sebulba has returned. Yeah, they teased him at the very end. So this is Star Wars Galactic Racer, which seems like it's maybe beyond pod racing, but that there is, at least the option to do pods. It's made by the Need for Speed devs, so they know how to make racing games. And the original Pod Racer games were really fun. I wonder how, arcadey it's going to be. Dude, I'm going to race the Bunta Eve Classic. Let's go. We just got off, again, in our previous videos, me talking about how I don't like racing games. But, you give me a pod racer and my opinions just completely change. Can I play as Ben Quadraneros? That'll be the huge deciding factor for me. But it's because this looks like it's going to get into what we were talking about, car combat, Yeah, maybe you don't have blasters, but there's way more action and stakes to it. So I think this looks cool. But then, yeah, they tease Sebulba at the very end.
I wasn't interested until I knew that. I mean, I'll see.
Yeah, there he is. There he is.
There's Sebulba. Hell yeah. It's definitely not a day one.
If you don't play that game, you are a pile of bantha voodoo. Mewanawanga, McClunky. I was like borderline looking up, how do I look up, if you guys were going to hate on that game, I was like, how do I translate you're an uncultured fool into hutties that I could drop for them? I forgot. I didn't have enough time before we started recording.
The hutties. I did not even look at that trailer because pod racing game did not really spark anything in me, just a title. But hearing the Need for Speed devs being involved does, I'll definitely see how the reviews are and like what the game actually ends up being.
Yeah, I highly doubt. I joke myself. I highly doubt it would be a day one purchase for me. But if it's like a $50 tier game that reviews relatively well, and maybe it's got couch co-op, I could see myself buying a copy of that just for fun.
I'm certainly, more closer to yes than I expected to be or was 5 minutes ago.
Hell yeah. Okay, Matt, we got some more information from Housemarque and their not sequel to Returnal. It's not Returnal 2, folks. You gotta believe me, it's not Returnal 2. It's definitely its own thing. So we got more gameplay. We had a long intro from Rahul Kohli at the show himself. But what was new about surprising, or what grabbed your attention from what was shown from?
I mean, the real attention grab is the mild delay of a couple weeks into April. It's no longer launching on my birthday weekend. Sad, but I don't know. I'm just big into. I really liked Returnal. I know no one else here got into it like I did.
Andrew, you said you liked it, but
I liked it. I just dropped it. I there's times I want to return it to Returnal, but
I just haven't. There's times I want a Returnal, but that's okay.
But they added difficulty, right? Am I misremembering that?
Yes.
And I've not checked it out since they did that, and the atmosphere is great.
Of stuff since original launch.
Some of the abilities that they're implementing in this game seems to be like that. They're like, oh yeah, you guys said it was too hard, so we basically made Returnal baby mode by giving you like invincibility shields and stuff like that.
Energy absorption shield.
What interested me most there is that that trailer actually let you see a little bit more of Rahul Kohli's acting chops. Beyond his face from the original trailer and stuff, it wasn't giving much in that one, but this one definitely leaned more into this will be a vehicle for more of a performance than I was maybe originally thinking. How much acting was there in the original one? How much
there's a decent amount, because it's not necessarily all heavily in cutscene, but there's a lot of exploration into her background, into why she is where she is, and how what has gotten her there, her internal trauma, lots of internal and external, monologuing and dialoguing to herself.
But not a lot of cutscenes though. For this, would you?
It's not really a cutscene intensive game.
So from what you've seen
when you beat the game, you get some.
Do you think they're moving more in that direction, doing a little bit more of the Sony cinematic aspects into this?
I mean, it seems like they're going a little more story intensive into Saros. I wouldn't expect it to be like God of War, where you're going to be.
And this is no shade on the actress that played the character in the original one, but Rahul Kohli is a little bit more, hiring him to be the face and to play this, he's a more well-known actor, I guess.
I'm just excited because Housemarque knows how to cook. They still have the best usage of the DualSense outside of Astrobot. Still one of the best-looking games on PS5 as it stands today, including it's got a pro update, I'm pretty positive. The way that they've
include the meshing of two genres that I don't like in bullet hell shmups and roguelikes. So
just got cool weapons.
Alienates me on
feels good.
Alienates me on
shooting
those
feels
grounds.
great.
The shooting feels good. You've got good control in your platforming. The character control's really solid. The whole thing, and it's not like pure roguelike because you do maintain progress.
Yeah. No, my biggest thing, I just need to play it with a little bit of a guide next to me while I'm doing it, because I just felt like I was running in circles and I just didn't give it enough time. But the gameplay itself, top notch.
The bosses are fun. No, this is going to be This is going to be like a surprise hit next year.
I think for me, in order to push me over that kind of hump, it's got to be like a this is a must play, can't miss type of thing, which I know a lot of people said about Returnal. It's like if you own a PS5, this should be a must play, but even still, it kind of went under the radar.
I mean, Returnal's sitting at Metacritic right now at an 86, which is
that's good. But not for me, it's not good enough to get over my personal hurdles. It's not saying that those aren't great scores, and that's not saying that it's not a good game. But it's just for me to get over my hangups on the genres for this one. It's got to be like a 10 out of 10 must play.
93% positive reviews, 7% mixed, 0% negative.
All right, how's the response been? Positive, mixed, negative on the worst kept secret under Capcom that Leon is going to be the dual protagonist, playable character in RE9 Requiem.
I am very pumped now. I wasn't sure if I'd be playing this when they when it was leaked.
Okay.
I figured
but he's not
probably
he's
would.
not like plays every single Resident Evil.
No, he's just played all of the recent ones.
Most of them, yeah. So it was probably going to happen unless the reviews are bad. But now knowing Leon's in it, I'm fully sold. I love Leon as a character. I love RE4. Getting that official confirmation, seeing our hot cop. Has he gone
into Zaddy status in this one?
I would say so. He's certainly, middle-aged Leon now with little facial hair going on.
But he's slutty enough to be Zaddy, not Daddy.
Yeah, always.
Now, my question for you, Andrew, is are you going to play this on PS5 or are you going to buy it for Switch too? You're going to get it so you can handheld that bitch.
I don't.
How scary would this be to play this game while pooping?
That really helps you, work things through. I'll probably wait to see what people
the comparisons
the performance is.
I think you got to do PlayStation.
But I'll probably be on PlayStation.
Capcom can cook.
But this does not.
Pretty much
This is not a game that really screams I must play or have the option to play handheld.
No,
but think about it. Think of how many times you go flying. You wouldn't have to worry about a Wi-Fi connection for your Portal if you could just pop it into your Switch.
That's the beauty of the Switch, without a doubt.
But I think with the dual nature of this, like that, a PS5 Pro, so long as it implements things well, might be the ideal way. You want high fidelity. I know, well, he should get one. The high fidelity.
You should before it goes up in price again because of RAM.
The high fidelity parts for the survival horror of the. What's her name? What's the other protagonist? What's her name? I don't know. Not Leon. The high fidelity parts to enhance the scares of the survival horror part, and then high performance for the action parts with the man himself. Here he is. Grace, yeah.
Tales of Grace's F.
So,
I'm most likely going to have this on PS5. I also just I will want to play this in the dark by myself, lights out.
You can do that
visuals
on the Switch.
I can get, but
imagine being in bed playing it handheld on your Switch.
Nah, because then it's not as scary. Although then maybe I don't know. It's all going to depend on what the difference in performance really is.
I'll pay someone to stalk your house and break in, and grab your feet under your bed.
Perfect.
I cut it a little too early. Oops.
Tickle my toes while
I'm just pointing out that I think. Nintendo and Capcom have a long-standing relationship with each other beyond, they've got the Monster Hunter franchise. Back if you push into the 90s, Nintendo entrusted Capcom with 2 Legend of Zelda Game Boy games and the Oracle of Ages and Oracle of Seasons.
No, the historical context of Resident Evil 4 was a GameCube game. That part of it does make that's the primary reason I'm kind of having it on Nintendo system's kind of cool, but it's all going to come down to
they're selling that crazy bundle that's got 7, 8, 9 all in one for $20 more than just 9.
Oh, that's pretty good.
They're giving a Pro controller with it. They're getting Amiibo. Nintendo is clearly investing into Capcom.
Yeah.
This next one that was on my list is definitely one that I think I would get for the Switch. And I was a little surprised that you didn't mention anything about it, Matt. This is Orbitals, this retro, early 90s anime aesthetic. I like calling it like it's an It Takes Two like, it's a co-op game. I really love the aesthetic here, and it looks very much in the vein of an It Takes Two, of cooperative action platforming with some story elements. I mean, just dude, this art style is
style's cool.
It's just incredible. It looks so good. I missed that era of animation.
I mean, it's never gone. You can still watch it.
I understand, but I'm talking about modern stuff.
What do you mean? Modern stuff is fine. One Punch Man Season 3 is one of the best received.
One PNG man does not good animation make.
Hey, I'll have you know that just because the first 5 episodes were really bad, and then they made the next 2 episodes moderately average, it means it's better.
Yeah, dude, if you got the huge gulf between quality, it makes the mediocrity, exceptional.
I've been so sad about that. That's just such a good property that's just been absolutely destroyed by taking it away from Studio Madhouse.
Just manhandling it.
Season 1 was just fucking cinema, and then season 2, I was like, oh no, the drop in quality is noticeable, but maybe they'll take the feedback. And then season 3, it was like, oh no, they didn't listen. They made it worse.
They doubled down. And Matt,
I do enjoy all the memes. Sorry to keep
of
Garo just sliding down the hill.
Yeah, so good, so good. What was the soccer anime that everybody was hating on before? And it was like that looks like Sony Studio animation quality.
King Chris had a video of Garo sliding, a Blue Lock character sliding, and then one other anime character sliding.
I love the Brown Bakugo. He would do Blue Lock stuff, just like kind of rolling on his wheelchair, just in a single position. So good. Okay, Matt. This is the one that I was truly disappointed in you for being like, oh, I didn't see anything that interested me. How could you see this from the pre-show and not be immediately interested? Are you just mad because they teased you about calling it Badgerborn? This is an action platformer, homages and love letters to all like major Sony properties. I forget who is it's headed by a bunch of like interesting and talented people. Like it's
I can tell you why.
It's like creative power, use of creative power. So yeah, Badgerborn. So yeah, what's your deal here? What's your beef with Bradley the Badger?
While watching this trailer, the first thing that came to my mind was Biomutant.
Okay, that's a interesting.
Did you play that?
I did.
Yeah, you did.
I thought so. Okay.
Where are you getting that connection?
Anthropomorphic animal combat.
I don't know where you're pulling that from. That seems like a very odd singular. Nothing about this beyond again, he's a cute animal, not a weird, disgusting mouse man. Again, this, like, if anything, gives more like Astrobot vibes instead of like unique powers and world manipulation, platforming. Yeah, there's like more action combat involved.
You're human?
But there's like an element of that. Yeah, there's a live action element actor as well. I'm trying to look up who is this head of Day for Night Studio it was Mario and Rabbids creator and the lead designer from Red Dead are the people behind this.
I mean, calling out the people from Red Dead does nothing for me.
The first one is for you and the second one is for Andrew. That, folks, come on, let's be real. That was the real game of the show. That was the real game of the show.
Bradley the Badger. Badgerborn?
Yeah, so it was referencing Bloodborne, Last of Us, Cyberpunk, there's a couple others I forget, even though we just looked at it. I like the homage. All right, so that's it for our list of what was most interesting to us. There were a couple other things, but none that warrant full breakdowns. Like you already mentioned the Warlock D&D game. There's the 2 Tomb Raider games, the remake of the original, and then the new one, Catalyst, and they're like kind of different art styles, and they were announced back to back. One of them was giving me a weird AI art vibe that I couldn't get across. I couldn't get past. And I actually think those were the only other ones on my list. Yeah, any other final comments? Again, it was they sweep the show plus some pretty I would have rated the show in terms of announcements a strong B. The things that were like hype for me are like tempered by the fact that they were largely just CG, no expectation of when they're going to be out anytime soon. A real sour note of that final showcase, the high guard, that which people have been doing, like breaking it high guard Overwatch. It's just they can't even be creative with the titles anymore. Welcome back, Concord. We missed you so much. Yeah, any other final comments about the show, about the awards? I still think, yeah, Jeff needs to either jettison the awards completely or actually...
Then what would they wouldn't be able to call it the Game Awards anymore.
Winter Game Fest would be fine.
Just do like the 4 or 5 big ones and cut the rest. Like, we don't need all the others. It doesn't need to be 18 categories. It could be
They
5.
simply must cut the esports, the content creator, even some of the things like the ongoing
Content
game,
creator is a weird one just because the streamer awards have their own separate show, and that can
which was a train wreck, by the way, and an embarrassment. Like I've only seen that. I've only absorbed information about that against my will, being like forced clips that like just really like are painfully cringe. Yeah, I thought it was generally a pretty good show with some odd things. No drama, which is kind of unfortunate because those are always fun. Like no ridiculously long speeches, no gate crashers.
They probably threatened people if you go over your allotted time.
But the speeches they weren't like cut short. They gave people enough time.
They told them ahead of time. They were like, This is how long you get to talk.
I don't know. I don't think that they've done that anymore.
Comically large hook.
Well, it's because I think that they can avoid that because they only let like 5 people up on stage. And there is also some understanding of they burned through a lot of Claire Obscure's awards because they're like they can only give so many speeches. Like the simple fact that like the game director didn't give the speech for best game direction. They let the art director give the speech for that one because he knew he was going to be back up there for the game award speech. So it's like, I appreciate them flying like the whole studio out, getting everybody who could an opportunity to speak. And yeah, I still wish that there was a better balance between, it's like cut a lot of the fucking ads. You have more space for the awards and you keep the announcements basically at the level that they're at, and you're at a much greater parity. Yeah. I loved the implication that Jeff fucked Miss Piggy, that Kermit is just sitting in the cuck chair backstage.
Kermit definitely is a cuck.
Dude, that's the one quirk of Jeff that I absolutely love and will advocate is, stays at the Game Awards, is his inclusion of the Muppets. That's one of his like one true endearing qualities. Yeah. Any other final thoughts or opinions? Anything else? Surprise upsets? There were none really. Anything that you were wishing was going to be shown that didn't?
Oh no! Didn't No Man's Sky win Best Ongoing?
Yeah.
I was surprised by that. It was cool to
Baldur's
see.
Gate. No, Baldur's Gate won Best Community support for like the 3rd year in a row.
It's cool to see No Man's Sky get something for ongoing, despite not charging people money for the support they've been doing.
For consistent free updates, yeah. Their next game is never going to happen. That's one thing that's never going to be a real thing.
I'm not going to lie. I'm a little surprised there was nothing from Rockstar.
They've got
about GTA?
Right
about GTA? Yeah. I mean, there's too much drama going on. They control their own media.
Yeah, no, they don't need it.
They don't need it.
They don't need it.
They can drop a trailer on a random Tuesday and that's all the internet will talk about for the rest of, 10 news cycles. So they don't need that. They don't need to spend that money.
No, you're right.
Even though they could, they don't need to.
They're too busy spending that money to fire employees.
Kill employees.
Really surprised we didn't get the Black Flag remake. That was like I was like Ubisoft's got to be there in some fashion. I'm really surprised they didn't do it for that.
I mean, if Prince of Persia is coming out next month, like it's been rumored to be doing, and they haven't really shown anything for it, that means that they have no confidence.
No, jeez. There's like
which would also tell me that with the lack of marketing for Black Flag remake, I would expect that to also have no confidence.
But that's like also we don't really know what stage that's in. That's like still never, I don't know that that's ever been like fully confirmed even at this point. That's still, I think, just like a poorly kept secret at this point, I think.
Yeah, but the real thing to consider is just how long can Ubisoft, sit and hold and try to work on these games when they're clearly hemorrhaging money, and
they gotta hope that this spin-off
they're clearly like not releasing things
Yeah, they got to put something out to make this spin-off operation make sense. All right, folks, that'll do it for the top announcements from the Game Awards. We will see you next week for, I believe, in the release schedule is going to be my game focus episode of 13 Sentinels Aegis Rim. Hope you guys have been playing. Hope you guys are finished because we're going to be getting into major spoilers. We will see you all next time. Bye-bye.
Bye.